We go live, and Ovince St. Preux, former Vol football player and one of the top light heavyweights in the UFC, now at number 6. And Ovince St. Preux is going to headline the UFC in Nashville. Ovince, great to see you. How are you?
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Good. So, first, we saw you recently at Valor Fights 23 in Pigeon Forge. A lot of your guys, boy, that you've put in all the work at KMAA camp in Knoxville, but you guys are developing a lot of up-and-coming fighters. I know that's got to be exciting for you.
Yeah, we definitely are. A lot of the guys, I've been around them for a long time, and we got a lot of good guys that have a lot of potential and stuff. So we're definitely developing some good fighters and stuff.
So what's the energy for you now that you're going to headline the UFC returning back to Nashville?
Definitely stoked about it. I guess the biggest reason was because I'm headlining the whole event. So that's something I was happy about. But just kind of taking it day by day, making sure I'm gonna be able to give the fan a show, which I know I am. So I'm definitely excited.
Well, Vince, when you were playing football at UT, did sometimes you think, I'd just like to drop all this football stuff right now and beat every one of these guys up?
Not necessarily. I actually didn't have one thought about fighting until after I got through playing football. I graduated, and probably a year and a half, 2 years later, that's when I got involved with mixed martial arts.
So, but you had this talent. You didn't know you could be this good at that when you were playing football. Did you ever think about it?
Not for 1 second. I remember watching it. I think it was like 2003, 2004, watching a UFC match, and I was like, "There's no way I'll ever do this." And, look at me now.
How many of the skills cross over football and mixed martial arts?
Shoot, a lot. Especially, with me, I think the biggest skill I learned is being patient and disciplined. Just for the simple fact, and playing football, we do a lot of footwork drills. Mixed martial arts, you do a lot of footwork drills. So whether it's ladders, working on your speed, being explosive, all of that crossover. Even me working out in the weight room, doing my cleans and everything, and like my Olympic lifts, that helped out tremendously. Film watching, so that helps out too. So you always can tell that guys have telltale signs that you can capitalize on. And that's what we usually try to work on.
You mentioned footwork. That's involved a lot in boxing too, of course. So did you get any training in boxing at a younger age?
I didn't have not one single training in boxing at all.
Really?
I do go to the boxing gym. I do go to the boxing gym just to work on my timing and stuff. And I got a pretty good boxing gym here. Frank Ippolito will be helping me out tremendously. So hats off to him.
Do you think if you could have gone into boxing? Did you ever think maybe you could have done that?
No. The thing about boxing is, I love boxing, but man, if you get into mores, then mores can hurt. Mixed martial arts, you can get in those wars, you can make it a good fight, but primarily it's not going to be a stand-up battle. You can take a guy to the ground. You can just transition from the ground. You can avoid, taking a lot of damage and stuff. So.
We're visiting with former Vol and UFC light heavyweight Ovince St. Preux. He is going to headline the UFC's Fight Night back in Nashville. That's August 8th. You're taking on Glover Teixeira. What is he about as an opponent? Talk about that matchup.
He originally started training at the Pit. That's Chuck Liddell's old gym. Chuck Liddell was actually one of his coaches. But, he got heavy hands. He's never been finished in the UFC. His last 2 fights were pretty tough. I mean, the fight before his last fight, he fought for the belt, and that went decision. He fought Bill Davis, that went decision. He's, for the past 2 years, he was in the top 5. So, it's just going to be one of those fights that are going to test me. I tell people every fight I fight is going to be my hardest fight, and I know this fight is going to be my hardest fight. So. But at the same time, with it being in the state of Tennessee, at the Bridgestone, I think the favors are in my hand right now, and I'm going to try to capitalize in every situation.
I've talked to you about the rankings before. what do you think about where you're at, and then the guys that are in front of you, and how that path might play out in terms of potentially getting a title shot down the road?
To be honest, in the world of mixed martial arts, you never know. About a month ago, if you'd asked me that question, it would have been completely different. Mm-hmm. Now, given the fact that the incident happened with Jones, everybody's looking at the 205 division and be like, what just happened? And everybody, and now it's basically a sprint to the finish line for every guy that's in the top 5, 6, even top 8 to try to get to that number 1 contender spot, because everything's just pretty much wide open. They open it. Tremendous opportunity for everybody. So I'm actually one of those guys who's running, and I think I'm ahead of everybody right now.
How does the potential matchmaking work in the UFC? Do they come to you and say, all right, we're looking at a couple of options, there's this, and this, or do you just hear about it? How does that play out with the fighter, the relationship with the UFC in putting together fights?
Well, the fighters can always have, a say-so within a fight. Obviously, I call out a particular person, but, matchup-wise for me, getting to that title fight probably wouldn't be a good fight for me, but me matching up with Glover was a perfect fight. I mean, if you look at everybody within the top 5 in the division, Cormier fought Johnson already. He's fighting Gustafsson now. And the only other 2 people that have fights are Bader and Rashad. Mm-hmm. Most likely they might end up fighting each other. I don't know. But that's a possibility. So whoever wins out of that fight most likely might get a title shot. But, within the UFC, this is how it goes too. Dana don't care. Dana gives the fans the fights they want to see. So depending how I finish the fight, if I finish the fight in a fashionable manner, I don't know. I might be in the number 1 contender spot. So that's what I'm trying to shoot for right now.
So you're saying it's like college football, you need style points, or the way it used to be. You need some style points help you, right?
Oh, yeah. Because at the end of the day, the fans don't want to see, a 5-round. If they see a 5-round fight, they want to see a good 5-round fight. Mm-hmm. But they don't want to see somebody just grabbing each other. They want to see a good fight. So, I think I entertain people quite often. So, I think I can handle that situation with entertaining them in a main event fight or a championship fight at that.
Since we're talking about matchups, I wondered if you might consider doing an exhibition match. We have a guy on our staff in Frederickson. I told him you were going to be on our show today, and he said I could probably take him. He's a former wrestler and played linebacker in football. He thinks of himself as a tough guy. I was wondering if maybe we could work that out where you could go a few minutes with him or something.
He can stop by the gym.
Oh, really?
He can stop by the gym.
Anytime would it be if he just drop by there and maybe you guys go at it for 30 seconds or so?
Yeah.
Would he have to sign some kind of a waiver though?
Yeah, typically if you come to the gym for the first time, you definitely have to sign some type of waiver because he might trip and flip over himself.
Yeah, he might be crippled for life.
It won't disrupt your schedule much. You won't have to take up too much time.
Yeah, you could probably do it in like 10 or 12 seconds. That's or as long as it takes you to catch up to it. Yeah.
Ovince Preux joining us here in studio. Got to ask you about your boy Hot Sauce, Scott Holtzman on the card. How exciting is that for you?
Definitely excited. The minute I remember the first day he got the call saying he was in the UFC, I was like, all right, bet. I always told him, I was like, look, you're like 1 or 2 fights away, it happened right away. And now I was like, man, I don't care wherever you fight. I don't care if you fight overseas. I don't care if you fighting across the country. I was like, I'll be at that fight. And when we heard about the Nashville card, I was like, Scott, we need to get on this card. And immediately after my fight, when I fought Cummings, I was like, look, I want to fight in Nashville, hometown. I mean, it's a home state, and talked to Scott, and I was like, yeah, you need to get on this card for real. And Scott had a good opportunity right now. His first fight ever in the UFC is going to be in the state of Tennessee, and on top of that, he's gonna. Then on top of that, it's just like the fan support is going to be there. So, I mean, but with both of us being out of Knoxville, and the UFC coming to Nashville, all the people in Knoxville migrating over to Nashville to Bridgestone is going to be ridiculous.
And Scott's going to be so motivated. I mean, he already is, but he's so driven.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Scott is one of those guys that I tell people from time to time is just, the way he trains, the way he goes about his diet, he actually helped me tremendously with my diet. He's the one out, because I can see the difference. It was like, okay, the better you, when you diet, you train better and longer. So, been working on my diet. We linked up with Eddie Raymond at the health shop, and he's been helping us out tremendously. Even just, for me, any little thing I need, he's just like, hey, look, what do you do with this? What do you do with this? And, with fighters, you get different type of diets that they go through, or, different, like, green juices that they drink that help them out tremendously or whatnot. So we exchange a lot of information. But just being on that car with him, and it's gonna be exciting.
Oh, Vince, now that you have so much experience in this, if a young person was interested in going into this, what would be an ideal skill set that you would look for in a young athlete that might apply to this particular endeavor?
As of right now, you know what? I'm a firm believer with having a wrestling background in mixed martial arts, just because you can dictate where the fight's going to be at. But if you have that natural wrestling base, it can revolve around everything else. And but the skill set, I think, is just being patient and disciplined. A lot of people, once you start fighting, like, you want to make sure you know everything. You want to make sure that you can throw proper kicks and stuff, because you see a lot of guys fight, and sometimes you're looking at the technique. The technique is not all that. But also too is you can tell who's going to end up being a good fighter just because of I call it an MMA IQ. Most guys have to constantly drill, and some guys you just teach them things one time and they pick it up right away. So those type of guys can excel a lot faster within the mixed martial arts. So just telling guys what to do, just be patient, just because, especially when I first started fighting back in the day, it was a lot harder. But like now, fighting is a lot easier. But everybody's doing it. So you got like BJ black belts out the wild. You got people with mad credentials or whatnot. Just know yourself. Don't overthink, or don't try to overtrain, or don't try to be like a specific fighter, because that person been doing that style for a long time, and there's no way your body can adapt to that particular style. So you're gonna have to find your own style and kind of stick with it.
How surprised were you that Fabricio Verdum beat Cain Velasquez?
Well, not that surprised, because Verdum actually, his stand-up came a long way, and I've seen his stand-up evolve since when he fought Big Country. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't know what happened. It's almost like watching Cormier. I fought in the card with Cormier one time, and then after that, he didn't fight for 8 months. And 8 months later, he fought Jeff Monson and picked him completely apart. And that's when Cormier's stand-up just evolved. And, the thing about Verdum is you don't want him on the ground, just because he's probably the best heavyweight, practitioner on the ground, just point blank. But I was surprised. But the Cain that I saw, I see better Cains than that. It's just like, I was watching even Gilbert Menendez.
Yeah.
That altitude made a lot of difference. I never ever seen Cain breathing like that.
Yeah.
No one ever seen Cain breathing like that. I mean, he was still pushing himself, and even when Cain went for that double leg takedown, Verdum conceded a takedown. Like, you can tell him he conceded. He was like, the guillotine was right there when he got it. But it's just one of them things where I would like to see a rematch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can tell that elevation had a lot to do. Because Verdum was actually there, from what I heard, 2 months prior.
Yep.
And Cain came in about 2 weeks prior.
Right.
So that makes a big difference.
And man, the head shots to Cain from Verdum, his head was just rocking back like a bobblehead doll. I mean, he was just taking so many shots from Verdum.
But did you see how when he fought JDS, he was doing the same thing too?
Yeah.
But
that's true.
Cain, it was going back and forth. It was a lot of head shots. Cain had a lot of solid kicks. To be honest, I think Verdum if the fight would have made it into the later round, I think Verdun would have slowed down tremendously because those leg kicks would have caught up with him.
Last couple things. What do you expect from John Jones when he returns? At what level do you think John Jones will return if and when he does?
Probably just expect the same thing from him. Mm-hmm. I mean, by far, hands down, he's probably the best MMA fighter that ever came through our generation right now. So it's just one of the situations. Hopefully, he get everything situated and come back. Because to be honest, I do want to fight him. I think out of all the 205 fighters, I particularly match up well against him, size-wise and everything. I think the biggest advantage I have over him is KO power. And he's 6'4", I'm 6'3.5". I have an 81.5 inch reach. He has a 84.5 inch reach. And I think I have more power output than he does. His cardio, he has good cardio. So his stand-up game is pretty good, but I think his stand-up game is more of a finesse, like spinning back elbows and side kicks and stuff. But I think if he can get those neutralized and stuff, and with pressuring him, you definitely can put him at a disadvantage. So I definitely want to test myself against him.
Last couple things real quick. After a fight, you've been training, you're dieting, you're done with a fight. What's the first food you seek out after a fight?
The first food. Man, to be honest, it depends. If it's a fall, I'm looking to hit Kroger's up and get a pumpkin roll. Or the minute I land, I'll probably go get a cheeseburgers from Gus's Good Time Deli.
Nice. Good answer. Now, football. If you were to jump back on the football field, how effective could Ovince St. Preux being, whether his hands are down, outside backer, how effective could you be if you jumped out on that practice field right now?
Man, I don't know. Just because I don't know, because fighting now, I'm more of a semi-aggressive counter fighter. Mm-hmm. And do I want to fill the hole when the fullback is coming through? Because nowadays you won't even have a true fullback. I think I'll be okay, just because the offense is more. Everybody's more leaner in the offense.
Yeah.
So everything is based around speed in the offense. So I think I'll be good, especially the hitting part too, because you can tell a lot of offensive players don't like getting hit.
And you can use your hands and get off blocks and then chase down the ball carrier or the tight end. Or you could do that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Well, Ovince, looking forward to it. Glover Teixeira matching up with Ovince St. Preux. It's headlining the UFC back in Nashville August 8th. Scott Hot Sauce Holtzman will be a part of that card as well. Should be a lot of fun. And you need Knoxville. Both of you guys need Knoxville to make their way over to Bridgestone, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. The tickets go on sale Friday.
Okay.
You can get them on Ticketmaster. And also, too, I'll be having the tickets on my fan page. I think I'm going to put those up tomorrow.
Okay.
And my gym, too, Knoxville Martial Arts Academy. You can find them on Facebook. And when you find them on Facebook, there'll be a link so you can get the tickets. But the special thing about it is you get the tickets at a discount going through my fan page, going through that link, and also my gym, Knoxville Martial Arts Academy.
All right, so search for that on Facebook. And then also Ovince is on Twitter. It's at 003_OSP, former ball football player, a terrific fighter in the UFC, going to headline UFC Fight Night in Nashville. It's the OSP car wash today, talking to all the area media, because when the football coaches go to ESPN, they call that the car wash. When they're doing all the ESPN networks and radio and all that, they call that the car wash. So This is your day talking to all the media. Ovince, great to see you.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks. We'll talk to Ovince again real soon. That is Ovince St. Preux. It's a new Sentinel Sports Page brought to you by Image Matters on Sports Radio WNML. Awesome. Great job, man.
Appreciate it. Yeah, Scotty is just like, been talking to him, like, what up, bro? What you doing? You're like, man,